Welcome to the extended pitch with collateral support for Worthwhile Studio. This is for the course ENT 670, Entrepreneurial Strategy Part 2. And my name is Joy Poe. I'm the founder of Worthwhile Studio. Thank you for your curiosity in Worthwhile Studio. Our mission is to empower artists in Western North Carolina to make more art, to grow as artists, and to thrive as creative entrepreneurs. I'd like to introduce you to the studio's story, our value to the community, and the creative people we serve. Worthwhile Studio will have 5 aspects. The first being the working studio, and that will be my own studio practice at first. And then when I find a larger space that I can afford, I'll invite 2 to 3 other working artists to join me in the studio. The second and third part will be arts business consulting and freelance teaching. These 2 activities are already happening. Arts business consulting at the moment will be in person, whether it might be workshops or just talking over the phone. And then eventually we'll have an online component to the arts business consulting as well. There will also be public speaking, for instance, maybe giving a talk at a college for art students or talking to, say, a fiber arts guild in Waynesville. And then also the freelance teaching, again, is kind of a market research at this point. I enjoy doing them, but I also consider them as classes that will help inform the workshops and master classes later on in the game once the studio is fully established. So paint and pour style classes, if you're not familiar with the term, is where, say, a business will host an artist and some attendees will come and they're served wine and the artist teaches them how to paint a painting in one setting. But this can also be a craft opportunity. It could be other kinds of art. It doesn't have to be painting. The idea is that it's involving alcohol, and which makes making art easier for some people, I imagine. And then also there's private and small group art lessons. And again, I've already started teaching art lessons to private people and to small groups. And these, again, are going to help me understand the kinds of classes people might want, like full day workshops or master classes. And then moving over to the master classes and workshops section, there will eventually be online courses that perhaps through a platform like Skillshare. And then the working studio, once it's up and running and I've found my 2 to 3 other working artists, I'm hoping that there will be a space large enough to have a gallery space within the studio, which will allow us the opportunity to participate in the 4th Friday gallery walks in downtown Brevard. The Worthwhile story. I like this little page because I think it shows what it looks like from the inside as far as what we're going for when we go out into the world and market this studio. The positioning is where we're going to begin. So the foundation of Worthwhile Studio is built on supporting artists in their creative endeavors. In addition to offering quality art classes, the studio will differentiate itself from competitors by offering arts business mentoring. And I really do think this is the key that sets us apart from other art studios. I noticed when I interviewed other studios in the area that they had a hard time keeping artists and they had a hard time getting attendees. And I think the missing link is the support for the artists in their creative endeavors. And then moving on to the marketing purpose, again, the identity is built around supporting these artists, and the purpose of the marketing is to attract the ideal clients who are going to benefit from the services we offer. And then hopefully those artists are going to become brand ambassadors and attract new and other artists to the studio. The talking logo is Worthwhile Studio offers quality art instruction, arts business mentoring, and a supportive community in which artists can create, learn, and thrive. And then the core message underlying all of this and all of the marketing that we will do is that Worthwhile Studio believes creativity is worth the time spent and that our community and the individuals within it are enriched through art. Speaking of the community, coming down here to the bottom, The vision of Worthwhile Studio is to develop a thriving community of artists and to position the studio in Brevard's Arts District as a creative hub for art experiences, for arts business resources, and this is for the range from amateur to professional artists. The studio will work to establish Brevard's Arts District as a destination for artists and visitors by offering high-quality workshops, mentorship, and support for the rich community of artists in Transylvania County. And then moving back up to our mountain scene, we plan to create an inspiring and supportive environment for emerging artists. We want to build a community of quality instructors and unique course offerings for this area. We want to help artists build their arts-based business. We want to showcase local and regional talent. We want to bolster the community support for artists and art education and creative entrepreneurship. And we want to help strengthen Transylvania County's creative tourism industry. So this is my list of ideal clients. I really enjoy this list because I genuinely like each kind of person that would be an ideal client for Worthwhile Studio. So beginning with the workshop enthusiast, this is a woman who makes an effort to seek out and attend art workshops. Generally, she's retired, she has a history of being creative, she has expendable income, and she just enjoys attending workshops as a social activity. She's there for the fun of it, and I like this person. They really add a lot of energy to classes. The second is the late bloomer. Again, I like this person. I've met a lot of late bloomers since teaching art, and they're very inspiring. So these are adults who are interested in returning to their former love of creativity, or perhaps just discovering an interest in making art. She's interested in learning techniques and growing her talent, but she might have some insecurities and need supportive instruction along the way to help her grow those interests. The third ideal client is the aspiring artist, and I have been an aspiring artist, so I also have a soft spot for this person. She already has significant creative skills. She maybe has an art degree of some sort, BA, MFA, whatever it may be. She's still aspiring. She attends workshops to learn new skills and techniques, to meet other artists, and to create opportunities to grow as an artist. So the aspiring artist is also an ideal client for the arts business consulting services offered here at Worthwhile Studio. And then ideal client number 4, sorry, there's a typo, the entrepreneurial artist. This entrepreneurial artist is interested in learning new skills that can help her career as an artist. She's already accomplished in her craft, but perhaps needs additional help with business and marketing strategies to help support that dream that she has. This next slide, I think, really shows how ideal clients interact with one another at the studio. So I really like the graphic, and I like the way these ideal clients might support one another inside the studio. Again, the goal of Worthwhile Studio is to build a hub of creativity for the ideal clients. And in this space, you might have a late bloomer who's an amateur but enjoys her experience so much that she becomes a workshop enthusiast. And then perhaps a workshop enthusiast shows up and they love what they're doing so much they're actually beginning to aspire to be an artist. And then as she develops her talents, gains new skills, she realizes that she wants to be an artist. And these arts business mentoring programs are already readily available at Worthwhile Studio to help build that kind of business knowledge. And what I really, again, like about these 4 ideal clients is how they're going to inspire one another. I think a creative entrepreneur could just as easily become a late bloomer. You know, perhaps a creative entrepreneur has suddenly decided they want to try their hand in encaustic or life drawing. Therefore, they become a late bloomer. They didn't realize that they wanted to know that. So there's a lot of overlap between the ideal clients and their goals and aspirations. And I think that's going to help create that hub of creativity for Worthwhile Studio. So calling all creatives, how can you get involved? You can take a class, learn a new skill, support local artists. You can become one of the working artists in the studio later in the game when I get a space. You can teach art and creative business courses at the studio. You can recommend a course topic of interest to you. You can offer funding or donations for startup costs. And you can also offer your professional services for startup, such as financial planning, grant writing, or legal advice. I do feel like these are my 3 weak areas, so I'm always open to advice from these areas. And then finally, you can visit my blog for more information about me, my ideas for Worthwhile Studio, and my journey as a creative entrepreneur. So you can find me at worthwhilestudio.com. Thanks for listening. I hope that at some point we can meet each other at Worthwhile Studio for some time to create.